example, you can hear that on RS1 via radio-show.co.uk, and we have no breaks on the radio, or no blocks on any of it. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. There are plenty of people tuned in as ever, and a big crowd in the pit lane. I'll introduce you to my special guest, who is a veteran of somewhere near 50 races on the Nürburgring and the Nordschleife, of which 23 have been the 24-hour races, multiple class winner, multiple winner in different classes as well, and published author now as well. Peter Kate is alongside me. The qualifying this morning, Peter, in less than ideal conditions, particularly for one Maximilian Verstappen, who is doing what all drivers have to do if he wants to drive a GT3 or race here in the future, in that he is doing his permits. You start off with a permit B, and then once you've got that, you can upgrade to the permit A. And he was greeted after his classroom session in his lead and follow yesterday with wet weather, and it was particularly damp this morning.
Hi, thanks for having me along. Really appreciate being part of this, at the other end of the microphone, as it were. Yeah, Max was introduced to the Nordschleife weather straight away. You never know what it's going to be like, and looking at some of the highlights here, very, very greasy. Obviously, it's been hot for quite a number of weeks over there, so you get that rain lying on top of the oils from the tarmac, and it just makes things very, very tricky. So seen a lot of cars trying some different lines, trying to find that wet line. Nordschleife is always tricky because it's a combination of old and new tarmac, and it's not always full width resurfaced. So yeah, Max really had to work hard to get to know not just the car but also the track.
At the front of the field, the full GT3 cars, small but perfectly formed entry, normally over 20, getting on towards 30 or above if we're at the N24, but just a handful here today, and Julian Andlauer and Joel Sturm on pole position in the 911 GT3R. It's a very busy GT weekend. We've got the European Le Mans Series back over at Silverstone, in my usual stomping ground, where the weather is fine. This morning we've got the 1000k at Suzuka as well, so a lot of shuffling of drivers, and one or two of the bigger teams and the works teams not here this weekend. Falcon Tyres, for example, have had to shuffle. Julian Andlau, as I said, I'm not even sure how he's going to do it. I presume he's going to start the race here and then helicopter it back to Silverstone to qualify, then come back here to do a morning stint tomorrow, and then back out to Silverstone tomorrow afternoon. So Joel Sturm, I would expect to be seeing doing the second half of both of the races. A qualifying session that in some ways doesn't count for much, particularly as it has it's dried up, Peter, but time on the Nordschleife is never time wasted.
No, that's right. Every lap's different, but you know, you pick up obviously some feel for the track as you consistently run. Conditions will change, but you know, it's 9-10 minutes in some classes, even 12 minutes since you were last there, so the lap can be quite different the next time around. But every little bit of the you know, you can very quickly embarrass yourself in a place like this. But with Frank on board, it's always entertaining to listen to his onboard live stream if you want to learn some interesting German words. But he's a great talent, and he's also a great development driver, so he can give the feedback that they need, rather than just parachuting a few, you know, very young hot shoes in the car. So I think, you know, we're going to see that car advance with a goal obviously next year to go for victory in the 24 hours.
What is the thing that any driver, obviously we've got a very experienced new driver to this, but what is the thing that you would say as an expert around here, and I can say that, you'll probably shake your head, but you are an expert around here, You've probably forgotten more about this place than most people will ever know. Julian Andlau, by the way, and Joel Sturm are on pole position in a revamped driver lineup for the two Falcon Porsches. They are running on Falcon tyres as well in that classic motorsport livery. What is the thing that most drivers, I've had a question about what will the Formula One fans tuned in now confuse them this weekend? What would confuse or be most unusual, shocking? What's the thing a driver has to get used to when racing on the Nordschleife? Some people will have done many laps on Gran Turismo, on some of the other sims, might even have done tourist laps around here.
We've kind of touched it in at a certain point in the track, knowing that you'll benefit if you're just a little bit patient. So it doesn't mean particularly losing speed on the lap time, but for example, you might want to let a GT3 pass you if you're in Max's position into a corner. Just lift of coast a little bit into that corner, let the guy pass, because then you'll get a huge tow up the hill afterwards for the next 2 miles or something. So it's a different way of thinking about lap time and generating lap time. It's not just out and out corner speed. It's a little bit more than that. And then some of the things you mentioned.
Ha sido una completa salvajada lo que ha hecho el día de hoy Max Verstappen en la clasificación de Nürburgring, y además de esto también ya en la carrera, porque el piloto neerlandés va a por todas y en cada uno de los circuitos que está el 4 veces campeón del mundo de la Fórmula 1. Ahora el turno era en este circuito, y es que en la clasificación, tan solo haciendo la clasificación, Max Verstappen se había colocado en la tercera posición. El auto 34 había liderado la clasificación con 8 minutos 9 segundos y 126 milésimas. Max Verstappen había quedado a 3 segundos en la tercera posición, y es que todos los fanáticos querían estar al lado del piloto neerlandés. Y es que después de esto, después de haber firmado algunos autógrafos, ya nos íbamos para la carrera a ver qué podía hacer Max Verstappen desde esa tercera posición. Y como era de esperarse, Max tan solo en la salida de este circuito recuperaba la primera posición. El piloto neerlandés pasaba de la tercera a la primera posición. Estuvo de suerte que el auto 917 a nada de llevárselo, pero de ahí en adelante se convirtió en una completa locura. Más de 1 minuto de diferencia antes del primer stint con su compañero de equipo. Ya después de esto cambiaron con su compañero, y es que de ahí en adelante se convertía en que este chico gestionara a Lukman, quien es el compañero del piloto neerlandés. Logró hacerlo así en gran parte de carrera, pero a falta de los últimos 30 minutos, la diferencia de 1 minuto que tenía Verstappen ya había bajado a 23 segundos, pero de ahí en adelante la diferencia no logró disminuir más bien aumentó a los 29 segundos, y el Ferrari 296 GT3 de Max Verstappen se ha llevado la victoria en el circuito de Nürburgring. El que es el novato, el piloto neerlandés Max, ha conseguido su primera victoria en este circuito.
Yes, Checo, P1.
Hay temporadas que representan un parteaguas para la categoría, pero para los pilotos también hay carreras que representan un vuelco en su vida. Y para Sergio Checo Pérez, este punto se alcanzaría en Bahrein, en el Gran Premio de Shakir, parte del calendario de la convulsa temporada 2020, que solo contaría de 17 fechas, y desde la mitad de temporada, Sergio se enteraría que no contaba con un contrato para 2021.
Hoy fue un día muy raro. Hoy me enteré de mi salida del equipo para el próximo año. No voy a continuar con el equipo.
A través de redes sociales, el piloto mexicano Sergio Checo Pérez ha anunciado que este será su último año corriendo con Racing Point, algo que se veía venir Por las negociaciones y las pláticas que tenían Sebastian Vettel y la propia escudería, que el próximo año va a llevar por nombre Aston Martin.
Restaban solo 3 carreras en el calendario, y Checo, fiel a su filosofía, no se rindió.
In the Middle East, it is the Bahrain Grand Prix.
The lights are shining down on the circuit, over 500 floodlights.
A doubleheader in the desert. 2 races held over 2 weekends.
Esta estaba siendo una temporada donde todo se estaba reajustando.
Coming into Bahrain.
Racing Point por fin empezaba a mostrar resultados con el que se denominaría el Mercedes Rosa. La antepenúltima fecha se celebraba en Medio Oriente y Checo no flaqueaba.
It's incredibly hard for drivers who've spent their entire lives trying to be in Formula One. Leaving that is almost like stepping away from an addiction.
El mexicano en ese momento disputaba el 4º lugar en el campeonato de pilotos, la posición más alta que hubiese logrado en su carrera, pero también la mejor posición que un piloto hubiese logrado por parte de la escudería. Y gracias a los puntos obtenidos, Racing Point también peleaba en la tabla por el 4º puesto. La máxima cosecha de puntos serían de parte del mexicano, que había liderado la escudería muy por encima del canadiense Lance Stroll, hijo del dueño de la escudería que dejaba a Checo sin asiento para la siguiente temporada.
Now at least the news are out and we can get on with it. Hey guys.
Well, Checo, big news regarding you, obviously. From what the team was saying, was there anything to prepare you for what we now know is going to happen?
No, all the feedback that I was getting was that we all wanted to continue, so there was nothing to prepare me really. At no point I felt my seat was at a real risk, because the feedback that I got from Otmar was that they wanted to continue with me, and then very late we found out that that wasn't the case. I was extremely disappointed. It could have been handled a bit better.
You got your guy, 4-time world champion, comes to the team. You must be thrilled.
We really look forward to working with Sebastian.
How are you going to approach things?
Obviously, the season is coming to an end soon, so very soon I will know what the future holds for me. That was pretty hard for me personally to take that decision, because I felt the decision had nothing to do with performance.
It's a big weekend for many of the drivers who come into this.
It's lights out and away we go. Russell does get away well, as does Max Verstappen, and Valtteri Bottas has got his teammate right alongside him already. Sergio Perez is trying to challenge as George Russell goes into the first turn, and George Russell takes the lead of the Sakir Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas is second and gets all out of shape coming out of turn 2. That's going to give Perez and Verstappen all the impetus they need. As it's 3 cars going wheel to wheel, there's a spin right at the back. Could be Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo. Lock up there as Perez is caught by Charles Leclerc, and there's 3 cars gone off at turn 4. And we've already got high drama here on the opening lap, and it's Max Verstappen, who was the 3rd of those cars. He is out of the race on the first lap.
George Russell taking the lead, and 2 really fancied runners this evening in the barriers together there. Well, that's really taken the sting out of an element of this race, hasn't it?
And Sergio Perez all the way down in 18th place. Leclerc caught Perez. We saw the Racing Point getting all out of shape.
So Max seems under control and then gets on the skittles, and he's straight in the barrier. Wow. Perez then makes a pit stop.
Lap 7 of this Sakir Grand Prix, and it's George Russell then leading the way from Bottas, from Sainz, and Sainz looks to have got a very nice safety car restart, and he's putting Bottas under all sorts of pressure going into turn 1. It's side by side, McLaren and Mercedes. Inside line goes to Sainz, and Carlos Sainz takes second place, but has to go off the track in doing so. That allows Valtteri Bottas to reclaim that second place. George Russell already flying out in front. Ricciardo is currently 4th from Fiat, and then comes Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris. What a duel that was, Sainz and Bottas. Alex Albon is right on the back now of Lando Norris, and he might be sizing up a move to go round the outside and then pinch the inside line at turn 5. Norris tries to cover it off. Alex Albon, that is what he can do in Formula One. Swoops past Lando Norris, and Sergio Perez then gets Norris as well, using all his years of experience to pick up the scraps after Norris had been overtaken by the Red Bull.
That puts Perez into the World Championship points already.
Oh, here comes Sergio Perez again. He got past Lando Norris on the last lap, fancies Alex Albon on this particular lap. You wouldn't think there's much space there, but Perez manages to squeeze a Formula One car through it. Well done, Alex Albon, for leaving just enough room, making it difficult, but Perez is past. There is Nicholas Latifi by the side of the track, so that's the exit of turn 8. Here we go, virtual safety car.
Yeah, there it is.
Virtual safety car's ended. Carlos Sainz has come in for a pit stop. And I tell you who it has helped, Sergio Perez make places up as well. He's on the hard tyre. He's going to the end on those hard tyres. He's going to try and get past his teammate if he can. Lock up there by Lance Stroll. And that will certainly help Sergio Perez gets past. And the Racing Point swap places. Sergio Perez goes up into 4th place. Here comes Sergio Perez on Esteban Ocon. He overtook his teammate on the last lap. He's got DRS to help him breeze past Esteban Ocon here. Sergio Perez, for the 2nd week in a row here in Bahrain, is running in the podium places. There's a front wing lost by Jack Aitken.
We're going to need a safety car then to clear that away, I think.
Oh, Jack, don't get out there. Safety car's been deployed.
Yeah, they have to. I can't see a gap. I can't see a gap in the way the cars are distributed around the track. And they're stacked up.
They're double stacking at Mercedes. The front right tyre was slow for George Russell. And for Valtteri Bottas, even more confusion for a crew that are normally very,
they're not
very
happy
adept.
with the left front. They're not happy with his left front.
Well, they double stack. They've reacted really, really quickly, Mercedes, and this is costing Bottas. Oh, his brakes are on fire now as well.
Battery's good to defend. Lewis's last lap at 27.4, Max at 27.1. Yeah, focus on the
Still in.
Daniel doesn't have DRS.
Okay, Vettel is 2.1 behind Perez. Vettel 2.1 behind Perez.
Sergio Perez is one of the most
And mode box, mode box.
Coming up. I have a puncture. 17, position 6. Strat 17, position 6, plus 2. There's a yellow flag in turn 7 for Bottas. Yellow flag. The yellow flags here. Debris on the exit. Watch out for debris.
you.